All right, there is some news coming in from Madhya Pradesh. A biker was swept away in Betul district of the state while trying to cross the river. What you see now on your screens are shocking visuals of a drunk man trying to cross a bridge over the river on his bike. Suddenly, he was swept away by the gushing water of the river. Despite warnings, this man decided to cross that bridge. We have a correspondent, Sanjana, joining me on the phone line. Sanjana, just take us through what really happened in Betul.
Vedika, as you can see on your screens, this man was intoxicated, and he was in fact warned by officials over there and the locals not to cross the bridge. But as you can see, this is him on the bridge on his bike, adamant on actually crossing it. But what has happened now is that the current has dragged him in, and he in fact toppled over and fell into the river. We don't know whether the man is dead or alive currently, but we do know that he's missing, and we don't really have much information on where he could actually be, because as you can see on your screens, the current is extremely strong. This incident in fact taking place in Betul in Madhya Pradesh. This man was said to be intoxicated. Back to you, Vedika.
Also, Sanjana, it seems that bad weather has stalled rescue operations as we speak to even find the body.
Absolutely, Vedika. The thing is, he was in fact even warned by the officials before he was crossing the bridge not to do so, but the man was adamant, as you can see, not really paying heed to what the officials or what the locals had to say, but making that effort, adamant, and to cross the bridge, but the current really pulling him in. And this is as the current pulling him in, as you can see on your screens, the man toppling over, falling into the river. But we don't really have any update on where the man is currently, but search operations have in fact been launched looking for this guy.
And chances of him surviving seem slight, Sanjana, because A, he was intoxicated, and secondly, the current is so strong that rescue operations really won't be of any help. They must have been stalled by now.
Absolutely. Vedika, as you can see, this is a stunt that's turned tragic, but, this is despite the locals warning him, the officials warning him not to actually cross the bridge. But as you can see, and as you rightly mentioned, the current is so strong, and there's such heavy rainfall, and just the way that he was pulled into the river, if this is before he was even washed away, just the fact that he was pulled in because of this current from this bridge on a bike goes to show that how the search operations will definitely prove difficult for the officials there.
Sanjana, do stay with me. Let me just recap for our viewers what we are seeing on our screens is a biker who was swept away in Betul district of Madhya Pradesh while trying to cross the river. What you see on your screens are shocking visuals of a drunk man trying to cross a bridge over the river on his bike. Suddenly, he was swept away by gushing water of the river. Despite warnings, this man decided to cross that bridge. And well, as of now, we do not know if the man is dead or alive. Rescue operations have been launched. The police also arrived on the spot within minutes. But due to the bad weather and the strong currents, we have no idea over the whereabouts of the man in question. Sanjana Chauhan is still with us on the phone line. Sanjana, this happens really very often, because even the other day in Uttarakhand, we did put out pictures of a man who decided to cross over despite the floods in the area, after which he was severely injured. So this is something that we do see on a daily basis in areas where ignorance really costs the lives of people.
Absolutely, Vedika, and this is something that can be avoided, because there have been there'll be warnings of, say, a flash flood, there'll be warnings of heavy rainfall, and likewise over here we definitely know for a fact that this man was warned not to cross the bridge, and what made it worse that he was intoxicated. He was not in the condition to cross the bridge, but as you can actually see on your screens, he's adamant, going forth on his bike, not in the condition, as you can see even before he gets onto his bike, he's sort of faltering, but the current is so strong that he's pulled in and finally washed away. And you can't even say washed away really, because the man has just disappeared underwater. We can't, because the current is so strong, the rainfall is so heavy that you can't really tell where this man has disappeared. We do know the search operations have in fact been launched, but clearly, as you rightly mentioned, this is a case of ignorance, a stunt that has turned tragic. Really a stunt where, this man has played with his life, but it's cost him dearly, considering that search operations will prove to be very difficult given the current.
Sanjana, do stay with me. I believe Shiv Arur is also joining me from the newsroom on the phone line. Shiv, drunken stupor perhaps costing the man on our screens his life.
Absolutely stunning images caught right, in the middle of the monsoon, when the river swells in that particular area are already high. There have been warnings throughout that particular area, as a result of which several roads have actually been cut off. The Tapti River has swelled because of the monsoons, and apparently several roads in the Betul area and the surrounding areas in Madhya Pradesh have been completely cut off. But as this this particular piece of video, shocking piece of video Vedika has captured, people obviously still trying to get elsewhere. Now, sketchy details about the condition of this man, what sort of warning was actually given to him, whether this was, a stunt or whether this was, something this man had to do. He had to get to the other side. All of that is pretty sketchy. It's not confirmed at this point of time. The only thing we do have is, of course, those terrifying few seconds when he, when he begins his bike, starts moving to the other side, sort of loses track and plunges straight into the raging river. As you can see, it's a huge churn in that river. There's a very small bit, connecting one side to the other side. So at any given time, this was always going to be a long shot. Apparently at this point of time, even that particular area, the little strip connecting one side to the other, has been completely inundated by the swelling river. He apparently asked someone to film him, which is why the information coming in suggests that it was a stunt. He'd actually asked someone to film him, and that's where this video actually comes from, Vedika. So we do have confirmation that this was a person doing this, obviously as some kind of a stunt, probably showing off what he could do in the middle of that danger. We've seen this so many times, in similar occasions as well as in others, people, trying to cross railway tracks when trains are coming really fast. So, it's in that sense, it's not surprising, but I think it's terrifying since these few seconds of video capture him completely falling into the river. And if you can see, the churn in the water of the Tapti River, the raging Tapti River at that point of time, you can tell that this poor man obviously had, practically no chance once he fell in.
And Shiv, unlikely to find the man in question in conditions like this.
Absolutely. I mean, even if a search operation was launched immediately after this happened, Vedika, you can only imagine how long it would take to find him. First of all, visibility. The angry churn of the river means visibility is almost zero. He would have been sucked under and pushed away completely from that particular area. There would have been obstacles. There would have been rocks. So even if he did survive, it would be very difficult to find him immediately. But there is, of course, confirmation coming in from our reporters who are sending us this story that he's officially still designated as missing. But there is no confirmation on what, where precisely the search operation is. What we do have confirmation on is that it was a stunt, like I said, which is why a video of this ghastly action, exists. He actually, the person on this motorcycle apparently asked someone to film him trying this stunt, crossing that bit of land, between two sides of that raging river. And you can only imagine what happened thereafter. The people called the police, but nothing could be found because the river had completely washed this poor man away. He stood no chance. Once he plunged headfirst with his motorcycle into the raging river, he stood no chance whatsoever.
Shiv, that clearly tells us why he was being captured on a mobile camera. But this is a stunt that has turned deadly. This should be a lesson for people who believe there's no danger in such stunts.
The thing about stunts like these is, each stunt perpetuates many more, Vedika. Over the last few years, especially with the profusion, of smartphones and recording devices, it's become fun. It's become very easy to record people doing dangerous things. Even in inaccessible areas, we saw people trying dangerous things even in the middle of tragedy and disaster in Uttarakhand last year. So the train surfers in Mumbai, people hanging out of trains, hanging out of buses, trying all sorts of stunts, the motorcycle stunts that we see in cities, in and around Delhi as well. All examples of how regulation, enforcement, and the lack thereof of all of those things means, people have a completely free run to do precisely what they want. And the fact that, it's possible to record and proliferate these video clips so easily is probably an even more of an incentive to actually try these things out and show off a bit. That, after all, is precisely what these stunts are all about. So it's really, really tragic that it had to end this way. We've seen stunts of this nature end in tragedy all too often, and you're absolutely right when you say this needs to be needs to go out as a very powerful example of how you simply cannot fool around with nature.
To the right of your screens, you see those visuals, a stunt turning tragic today in Betul in Madhya Pradesh. 4 days ago, something very similar happened in Uttarakhand. Well, these are lessons that people should learn by watching footage as deadly and as worrying as this negligence costing lives. Shivarur and Sanjana, thank you so much for joining us on that story.